Good evening, viewers, and welcome to Health Corner. My name is Dungu, and I'm your host tonight. It is estimated that every year, over 300,000 babies are born with severe forms of blood-related diseases, the majority of these in countries such as Uganda that are described as low and middle income countries. Approximately 5% of the world's population are healthy carriers of a gene that causes a disease commonly known as sickle cell disease. And we have a big number of people, up to 20% of the global population, up to 5% of the global population living with or carrying the gene that can contribute to formation of this disease. And it is estimated that a disease called sickle cell anemia or sickle cell disease is much more common in developing countries than it is in countries that are described as high income. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight I have guests from the Sickle Cell Association of Uganda, and I have the founder and executive director, Mrs. Ruth Muchibi. Good evening and welcome to Health Corner.
Thank you.
I also have Jacqueline Nampija, who is the chairperson of the Sickle Cell Association of Uganda. Good evening, Nampija. Or Jackie.
Thank you very much.
Viewers, the guests I have tonight are special. They are not only members of the Sickle Cell Association, but actually they have the disease, sickle cell disease. And many of you are wondering that how come we can see them there. We're told sickle cell does ABCD. But tonight is the time for us to really get to understand what it feels like to have sickle cell disease, the challenges and the experiences that patients go through. Not only patients, but even parents to children of sickle cell disease, the challenges that they go through. It is going to be a show where you are encouraged to contribute, where we shall ask you to send in your comments either by SMS or phone in. A time will come and we'll let you know when it will be the best time for you to come in. But to start, I'll start with my friend here on my left, Jacqueline. When you talk about sickle cell, for our viewers out there, what do you mean?
Good evening, our viewers. Sickle cell disease is a genetic disease. It is inherited from both the mother and the father. The parents have to be carriers for them to have a child that has sickle cell disease. So you cannot get the disease but from just one parent or from shaking hands, sharing a cup with somebody. It is something that travels through the genes that you receive from your parents.
You know, that's extremely important. You mentioned something like both parents need to contribute in order to have a child with sickle cell disease. I go to Ruth here. Does that mean that there are situations when you can have a child who is born to, without sickle cell, but they have, how should I term it? They have the gene that might cause sickle cell.
Yes, if you're carrying one gene from one parent, for example, you could be out there and maybe your parents are carriers of this gene, but when they are carriers of this gene, there is 1 in 4 chance at each pregnancy that the baby will have the disease, whereby someone will have the SS, that is the disease, sickle cell disease. And then there is a 2 in 4 chance that this baby will have the gene, will just carry the sickle cell gene, will be AS. So if you're carrying the gene, then you're not suffering, but you have a chance of giving birth to a sickle cell patient in future, just in case you chose someone who also carries or who has the disease. And then you also have a 1 in 4 chance that the baby will have the disease, rather be purely normal, who is AA. But these 4 chances are at each pregnancy that you get as a couple.
Maybe for the sake of the viewers, let's try to understand what Jackie and Ruth mean by A and S. A should stand for adult hemoglobin.
Yes.
And that is the normal hemoglobin.
Yeah.
And a normal person without any other genetic
Problem,
disorder should have
AA.
A.
Yeah.
So genes work in pairs.
Yes.
Okay? And what you said is that to express or to have clinical sickle cell disease, you need to have SS.
Exactly.
Meaning that this gene is weak, it cannot manifest on its own. Am I right on that?
Yes, you are.
it can.
And if you carry the S gene plus the A gene, you are a carrier. So you are AS.
Yes.
Yes.
You carry the gene, but you don't manifest the disease.
No, you don't.
Okay. And again, we said that it has to be 2 people to contribute that gene.
Exactly.
Because on its own, it doesn't cause disease.
No, it doesn't.
But you carry the disease.
Yes.
The reason I'm emphasizing this is that I have had many families
Yeah.
breaking them, saying that you brought the disease. Have you come across that?
Especially the men. They will always put the blame on the women.
Really?
Yes.
But why?
Of course, the woman cannot run away from it. The woman carries this pregnancy, and the man can say, maybe you got this baby outside our marriage or something. So, and
Because someone can say, in our family, we don't have sickle cell.
exactly.
Yes.
This
How
is a
can we help
man who looks at himself, he's been healthy, he doesn't fall sick that often. Then how can you convince him that you've had a baby who falls sick very often? It's very unrealistic to him, and he's like, no, I don't think this is my baby. So they'll break away. But actually they have contributed to the other S gene that the baby has for the baby to manifest as a disease.
You know, we said globally, approximately 5% of the world's population are healthy carriers
Yeah.
of this
Exactly.
gene. Do we have an idea of approximately how much, how big is the problem in Uganda?
In Uganda, it's almost the same. It's 20% of our total population carrying this gene. And when we say